Yo.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody, man?
What's going on, guys?
Everybody, man.
We love you. We appreciate you guys. We really do. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world.
This clip keeps surfacing, and it's Mel Gibson. I guess he got a new movie coming out about trafficking.
Mm-hmm. He sure does.
It's called, this clip is talking about the Antichrist in Hollywood, and he exposes the dark secrets and encounters with the Antichrist. And you remember...
He's talking about human trafficking, not just trafficking.
Human, yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear.
When, y'all remember the Passions of Christ, and then later it came out, they were trying to call, he was trying to expose stuff back to him back.
Right.
We just thought he was just going through something. Come to find out, he knew stuff back. People would just wash off for the glory of Hollywood. Hollywood has so much glory on it, so people didn't up. I want to hear
Yeah, but how can you wash that off? Wash something off like that? Evil.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s. The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because that couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track.
Child of Yah.
Welcome back, family. AVS here, and today I have an absolutely explosive episode because there have been clips of Mel Gibson floating around from a very old interview where he claims to have encountered the Antichrist, and he also goes into some details about Hollywood and what the industry is actually like. Now, I have actually managed to find the entire interview, and I'm going to play that for you shortly. But before we get to it, I want you to remember who this man is. He is an actor, a director, and a producer of one of the biggest Christian movies ever, The Passion of Christ. Now, in the exclusive interview that I'm about to show you, Mel Gibson exposes some shocking truths about the entertainment industry that only somebody who has been there themselves can speak about and actually be taken seriously about it.
That's right.
And he speaks about the ugly reality behind Hollywood, behind all of the glamour, if you want to call it that. But that's not all. In this jaw-dropping interview, he speaks about the Antichrist, and he also speaks about a very dark situation that he experiences with one specific actor. And I won't ruin it for you, I'll let you watch the interview for yourself. But pay attention to the wording that he uses throughout the interview. It's very, very interesting. And this can be very eye-opening for anybody who's trying to get into that industry. Maybe this will wake you up and turn you off of getting into that world, to be honest. But without any further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview.
I remember I wanted that more than anything to be in that world, and I learned that that's not the path God had for me, and I didn't want that world.
I ever did a casting session in America.
Yeah.
Terrified me.
Me too.
I mean, fucking hell. I came to meet the guy. They said, oh, he's flying in from God knows where.
Yeah, but he didn't need a plane, right?
Yeah.
It's like
He didn't need a plane. He came in, he was doing all the kind of Scorsese stuff. And I said, have you had a chance to read the script? And he looked at me and he said, do you like my face? And I went, yes. And he said, well, that's great, because if you don't, get De Niro. I'm out of here. And stood up and walked out. And everyone said, well, that I think was quite a good
Such
meeting.
a shallow
no,
world.
he came to see me on a rooftop in New York. I said, hey, can I talk to you? And he said, sure. He floated in, sideways,
Stop it.
through a crowd of people. He was wearing black. And it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk, but they glide. And he was a dancer, you know, so he has he's very,
What are they talking about?
you know, graceful.
Okay, they're starting to get a little...
Look, what you talking about with this?
It just shifted.
Okay.
I thought they were talking about somebody they knew particular, but now you're talking about he floating in with black on.
Yeah.
And he moved sideways, and he just sat down in a chair next to me. And it kind of frightened me.
Creepy.
And he's a very smart guy. And we started talking, and I didn't, you know, say much of anything about reading the script, nothing. I just started talking about the Middle Ages, and he began to talk tortures.
Oh.
And we swapped tortures, because I'd read this book on torture.
Wow.
And I tried to recall some of the most heinous things I'd ever read in this book. And he was like,
why?
oh, and he'd try and top it. And it got, and my assistant was there, and he left because he couldn't stand
take
it
it
anymore.
Exactly.
The air had turned cold.
Yeah.
And then he left, and I wanted to leave. And because I knew that I didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
And he was getting scary.
Yeah.
Really?
And then I turned around, and it was on top of the Peninsula Hotel. I turned around to avoid his stick.
Is that? I wonder if that's like what's the guy who's the original Freddy Krueger or something? You know, I wonder if
I
it's
don't know
like
what his name is, but I was
Michael
thinking,
London.
I was thinking about when he was talking about torture and how hard it was. I was thinking about, you know, was it the movie Hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell.
Not Hell. When, oh my God, it was one of the like, it's before all the saws and stuff came out. It was before, way before that. It was the pen. He had pen face.
Oh, Hellraiser.
Yes. That's what made me think about that.
Think about it, yeah.
Gaze at one point.
Yeah.
And I was looking at a building with the top of the sixes on it. So there was a huge illuminated triple six in red.
Yeah.
Get out
And
of
I went from
town.
that to that to that, and he started smiling.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, Chris Walken is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be fucked over at some point by people who you may have done something nice for.
Wow. Cold-blooded.
And it may happen that by circumstance, or even very purposefully, that you fuck someone over. But that shouldn't get in the way of you being able to sit down and have fun with them.
That's crazy.
Am I on the right track?
That's crazy.
You can't build a resentment about it. You have to still try and love those people.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they're thinking.
Because it ain't personal.
No, it's not personal. They don't
Looney
really
Tune
mean to
land.
No,
land.
thank you.
No.
Not
No,
really.
thank you.
Looney Tune
I
land.
don't
No,
quite
thank you.
understand. Well, I mean, there's a lot of motivations for why it happens. Yes, many.
I mean, money will
I'm
make
about to
you
say,
do
for
stuff
the
as well,
love
won't
of
it?
money.
I mean,
Gotta get
Yes.
that money,
them,
man.
us,
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
whoever.
If there's many millions riding on a decision, it's hard to be philosophical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very hard.
Wow.
Very hard to be, you know, you have to choose what level of integrity you're coming in at. And
Level.
and I've often felt it. I've sat there.
Apparently, there's no not integrity in integrity. He said level.
Yeah.
Like this person level might be like.
My earphones going in and out. Hello? There we go. For the love of money.
And I have felt the knife slipped firmly in between my shoulder blades and tried to have it shoved through the other side through my heart. And I've actually felt the whole thing, and I've gone, ah! Wait till next week, you know, or I'll think, and you'll resent it for a little while, then you have to let it go. Otherwise, you'll eat yourself alive here. And I think it takes that kind of cockroach resilience to survive in this town. I mean,
Wow.
this is a bizarre place. And it doesn't take very long, and I'm sure you've experienced this if you've stayed here for any length of time. You come in, you're fresh from the outside. You're off the boat, from the farm, still got on your shoes. You're in here. People are charmed by that you've still got on your shoes. They're charmed by the fresh approach you bring to it, and that's a real thing. But they're also stroking the shit out of you, you know, licking you all over. And that's kind of good for you, too.
It's great.
But it doesn't take very long
Yep, I was just about to say.
before you realize, or before it gets to you. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. And no matter how strong you are, when you come in off the farm with those convictions and a certain
Big blue eyes.
line of attack,
Brown
no
eyes.
matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place.
Wow.
No,
And it's going to divert you from where you were going.
Sure.
You're
Wow.
going to be diverted.
Wow.
When I came over here,
Wow.
I was in my mid-20s
Right.
the first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town
Okay.
and about the people in it that were like, surely that
Just
couldn't be.
slid off.
Because a whole place can't be like, Weird Town, where the stranger
Yeah, it
wanders
is
in
weird.
and
Get
all the
out.
people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that.
Really?
And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real.
Oh.
Now, this is what I mean
Creepy.
by actually starting to swim up or downstream with the rest of the salmon, eventually, if you stay here long enough.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself doing that.
Yep, I was going to say. It's coming.
And you have to... There's a way of doing it without doing it. That takes time.
Integrity, compromising.
And it takes relaxation.
Not being uncomfortable about
Not being uncomfortable. Realizing
About
it for
your
what it is.
authenticity.
Understanding what it is. Once you understand it, well, then you're not afraid of it anymore. So you can just walk around it and through it. And then get
And
on
be
with what
fake.
you tried to get on with in the first place. A place like this can
Wow.
humiliate you. And it can be, it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean, it does rip your life to pieces
does it?
Wow.
if you'll let it.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. It's
Yeah.
like these little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like beat your walls in.
Yeah.
But that's your own devils.
So why even stay in an industry like that?
That's what makes it seem more crazier to me, that you're aware of what's going on. You can talk about it with conviction, but then you talk about it with confidence. So it's like,
The love, the money.
right.
Yeah. I mean, as a matter of interest, do you think it's easier because you're an outsider who came in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was glaring to me because I was an outsider who came in. But who isn't an outsider coming into this?
Our tape's coming to an end, so
Oh.
I just want to ask you a couple of stupid questions. Just really quick off the top of your head. Give me 5 movies that you like. Not the best in the world, just...
5 movies I like. I hate this question. I can never answer it.
Okay.
I'll never be able to do it in the time allotted.
Okay. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. It's just like
Yeah.
his voice.
I'm
is
thinking,
so like, but
who mine?
Males.
I thought it was going to be more specific,
Yeah.
but it was more general. I think some of his new stuff talks about the trafficking stuff. This right here is like, I think he might have been alluding to that's what he was seeing in there. Like, okay, this is ridiculous. Or
But it's like he said the guy was the levitate. Do you believe that?
that was Christopher Watkins. That's the one who,
He said levitate, and it's just started talking about torture.
well, I believe a
How
lot
does
of
that happen?
I believe a lot of those people are
Like-
into a lot of those people in that culture are into dark stuff, and they've been in the dark stuff, and that you got to think, man, Hollywood was the prime place for cults. It was the #1 place for cult. It was cult country, and it's still cult country to a degree. I feel like that's a level of getting compromised. If for some reason people get in that world, and in years down the line, stuff changes.
I'm just like, how you just start a conversation with somebody about torture. Like, and he just so happened to have read a book about torture. It's like, it's not your comment. Then I started thinking about Hellraiser. I was like, ugh, that was a crazy movie. How even a person can even watch it is like, but
I always
that's
thought
so
Hollywood was just
interesting,
it was
some stuff that he said.
it's a weird place, and then just even we've had our you get close enough to even seeing that world, and it's kind of it's a weird
He said
place.
it. He said it's weird, but
It's a weird place.
compromising your integrity for an industry ain't it. Compromising your integrity for anything ain't it.
Ain't it? That's right.
But he said it gets easier and easier, I guess, the more you do it. So,
Yeah.
wow, I definitely want to hear.
That's like a person doing just like smoking weed. Person starts smoking, right? Oh, I can't take it. But then they keep on forcing themselves in it. They keep doing a little more. They keep doing a little
yeah.
more, and then they smoke weed.
hooked. Yep.
Okay. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't take a nosedive. Comment down in the section below if you want some more. We
Want
got to
some
go.
more? Yeah.
Bye.